By me leaving it out, I'm not using your tax dollars to leave it out, am I? By you putting it in, you're using my tax dollars to put it in.
Aren't my tax dollars putting it in?
What's up, everybody? I haven't had the time to catch up on the DNC because I just got back from London, where they control the use of your AC in your own car. And if you complain about it, they put you in jail. But this is a bastion of freedom people want to escape to if Trump gets elected. Speaking of Trump's election, the DNC is going on. I had no idea what was going on, but I heard it's a big party. Kevin said it's like the DNC is like a frat party while the RNC looks like a Christian church festival. So catch me up, Kevin. What's up? What's going on?
I'm sorry. It's hard to hear you from all the way over here in the DNC convention where things are going down, bro. Yeah, bro. Do you remember like when you're it's like a land fest over here, bro. We're all having a good time. There's Halo boots over here. Freaking Todd Howard's here showing off the latest, greatest video games from Bethesda. Fucking, I'm looking at Tony Stark is over there. He came in a fucking Iron Man suit and RDF, bro. It was like so badass. Oh, did you see James Taylor? Oh man, I was sitting there. We were toking up me and Kamala Harris together, and we're listening to James Taylor talking about "Do me wrong, do me right now, baby." It was a fucking best night, man. And then Flavor Flav came out and he was like, America, and we rolled his ass. We told him, get out of here with that America bullshit, Flavor Flav. Take your ass back to Paris with some fucking funky ass white people doing swimming in laps, water polo, nigga. What's wrong with you? And it was like, woo! So we're all ready to go out here. America's about to get back on track. We're about to be poor as shit.
So it sounds like a kick-ass time then. So voting for Kamala?
Oh, yeah, because what I've heard the past 2 days is literally basically a wank fest of a bunch of people using every playbook in the Hollywood. Like it is like it's basically just been like the Emmys. I'm looking at the difference between the conventions, and I got to give it to the Democrats. Like they know how to paint something that's not politics. Like none of this has been about issues, and when they do bring up anything, it's like this nebulous like nonsense that they accomplished things that they didn't, or that things were a certain way when they weren't, right? Like they literally sat there last night with a straight face and told us how, like when Obama was in office, the rates were low, everybody was buying homes. There were plenty of jobs, and he handed off to Trump like this robust and great economy where everybody was profiting, people were able to pay their bills. They talk like it was a fucking utopia, right? And then and then Trump comes along, and the next thing you know, the world's like, we're in super debt, everything fell apart, like racism came back. They were black people didn't feel safe in the streets, and then this disease came, and Trump let this disease happen, and then Biden came along, and we fixed it. We immediately got America, focused on dealing with the worst health crisis in the country, in the history of the world, and whatever. And I'm like, you mean with the vaccine that you mandated everybody take, right? Like. Because you got healthcare for all these older people. We were able to, yeah. You mean the vaccine that Trump fast tracked and pushed through all the fucking bullshit red tape that usually is required to get some sort of vaccine or medication tested, like from 7 years down to 7 weeks or whatever he did. So he got all that done. And remember when you guys were all like, "I'm not taking no." I don't trust Trump and the thing and the system is big pharma. Oh, yeah, that's their thing. They beat big pharma, guys. All of my medications across the board have gone up like 40%. But we beat big pharma somewhere. My insurance, every year when I renew it at work, it has crept up. It's like $100 more expensive than it was 2 years ago. But they beat big pharma, right? Like for who? Because people are taking generics that are made by the same damn companies. All they did was force these companies and go, hey, you can't sell that for like $100. It's too expensive now. We need you to make cheaper alternatives for people. So then, like, little Pfizer cut over here goes, okay, we'll make a cheaper version of the same drug that has half the efficacy of the brand name drug. So then the doctors prescribe that. And it's like, oh, look, we saved you money. Yeah, but you're giving me a drug that doesn't do what the initial drug does. You're giving me the substandard version. You're basically sweeping the pills up off the floor in the factory and putting them in a bottle and going, yeah, here, give the leftover shit that we, that gets cut off the side of the pills, recycled to the people who can't afford it, and give the good stuff, the top level, the stuff that comes in a box, not the multi-meal bag, right? The whole DNC campaign has been like a party where they're sitting there trotting out people and have heard the same story about Kamala Harris getting hit in the face with a rock by a little boy that she dressed down and made him feel so inadequate that as a man that he had to pick up a rock and split her head open. And I'm like, okay, this story has been told so many times, I almost don't believe it. Because when people start repeating the same story almost verbatim, there's something that my brain goes, it's like Law and Order. Like, oh, you say that? You don't bring the kid out. I want to talk to this dude. He's got to be a Democrat by now, right? He was in California with you and whatnot. Bring out the kid that went to your little school, your middle class upbringing school. Don't no, stop talking like you were inner city.
Yes, start name dropping, bitch.
Well, yeah, bring him out. Or show the records. You went to the hospital to get these stitches. Show the records you got hit in the face with a rock. The school's got to have records, right? Not just you, your best friend Susie, your other best friend Kelly, and then your husband, and you're all telling it. Your mom. They're all telling this same story that sounds like it was well rehearsed. I need to have people tell me something, completely different, right? It was just all a festival. People were out there like they brought Bernie Sanders' ass out of like the coffin, looking like Darth Sidious or whatever. Hey, we saved the money of the American people, and it's so much money. And I was like, what are you talking about? What are you guys?
You know what bothered me? One of the things that bothered me about Sanders is in his speech, he's talking about Americans struggling to put food on the table and, basically inflation and all that. You guys are already there. We keep saying this. Fix it now, bitch.
Well, they mentioned these. They made a comment about like.
I'm talking about. I know. I saw Juan shaking his head. I'm talking about Democrats as a whole. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? We're gonna fix it if you elect us. You're already fucking there.
But isn't that what aren't Republicans also saying we're gonna fix it if you elect us when they already own the House? That's my only argument. My only argument is that you guys keep saying they're already there, but the Republicans do control one of the House chambers, and they haven't put anything forward yet.
So you're saying if the Democrats controlling the other half of Congress and the executive, that they don't have any more sway at all?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that what you guys are saying is that Biden and Kamala should bring something forward that they know is not.
I'm not even saying Biden and Kamala. I'm saying Bernie fucking Sanders is the one spewing this shit. Like, motherfucker, you're already there. The rest of your fucking delegation that's all cheering this shit on, you're already fucking there.
Well, also, Bernie Sanders said last night. He said and this is almost an exact quote. He said for 12 years they've had control of the government and things have been prosperous. And all they need is to get back is to continue on. It only took 4 years for Trump to fuck everything up, apparently, right? So he's like, and he was talking about, we did it for 12 years. We got all these things done. We improved the economy. We could do this because you had 12 years with the 8 years of Obama and 4 years now of Biden, and I was like, wait, so basically you're saying for 12 years and basically 3.5 of Trump, if you really want to call it that, right? because he was already campaigning that
I
fourth
guess here's
year.
what I'm saying. You guys last week were saying that JD Vance had less power than Kamala to bring stuff up. But now you're saying Bernie Sanders should bring stuff up when JD Vance is in the same Senate. But they're both running on fixing stuff.
I'm saying the Democratic Party as a whole has more power right now. Obviously, I mean that's obvious. That's a fact.
But no, that's not a fact.
That is a fact. You control half of Congress and the executive, and you're telling me you don't have more power?
Correct. Yes, I am.
Who holds the veto pen right now?
Let me tell you something. First off, there's four places, right? The House of Representatives, the Senate, the President, the executive branch, and the judicial. Republicans control 2 of them. Democrats
Yeah, but
control
the
2 of them.
judicial doesn't make law.
Now, no, but they can reject law, right? They can declare something unconstitutional. Like Biden tried to pass
That's such a long process.
Hold on.
That requires a
hold on. No. But I got receipts, right? Biden has tried to do the whole debt forgiveness for student loans, and the Supreme Court has been in there telling him no.
The difference is he's trying to do it under executive order.
Now, that's what I'm saying, though. So
that's not the same thing, man.
But what I'm saying is that they can still block what Biden and the Democrats are trying to do.
They can't block Congress proposing bills, though. That's not how it works.
No, again, I get that, but look at what you're trying to tell me right now. You're telling me that Democrats have more power, but they can't block Congress from bringing bills. You are correct. So where are the Republican bills that you're talking about that they're trying to run on? Why, if Congress?
No, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm just saying. So there's also I kind of agreed with you last week with the whole JD Vance stuff and versus Kamala, even though I think like we ended up saying is Kamala holds more sway, obviously, because she is the VP, right? In this case, I'm just talking about the Democratic Party as a whole is spewing this shit now. It's not Kamala saying it. Bernie Sanders is saying it. There's no fucking excuse at that point.
But there is excuses for the other side, though. Like, for example, how long have they been talking about the Democrats taking your guns away, right? How come when Trump controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency, they didn't make changes to that? Or abortion. How come they didn't make an actual amendment on abortion? The Republicans want JD Vance wants a national ban. Why didn't he ever introduce that when they had control of everything?
Because they didn't want a national ban. See, there's the difference, right? Republicans are more than glad to leave these things up to states' rights, whereas the Democrats want to push things to be. And that's
you really think a national ban on abortion is going to pass committee? Because it's got to go through committee.
Beto, but you're arguing your own argument with that, though. You're saying that Bernie Sanders should bring up stuff, but then he's not going to get it through anything.
There's a huge difference between trying to pass national abortion ban through committee and trying to say, hey, we got this awesome plan to, get rid of inflation and make shit more affordable. Which one's more likely, in all honesty, which one's going to have more bipartisan support? I mean, just logically speaking.
But logically speaking, they did pass the Inflation Reduction Act, right? So they have done something for inflation, or whether it worked or not, they have passed something to try to combat inflation in their view.
Yeah, so but the thing is, they're still saying we're going to fix it.
Correct. I'm just saying that
you're implying I'm going to bring something else in.
Correct.
Right.
So they passed a bipartisan bill, right? Look, first, let me caveat by saying I don't agree with what they passed. I'm not saying that I agree that they should pass more tax increases or whatever the fuck they want to do. I don't agree with that. What I'm saying is, y'all are saying Bernie Sanders should have done something. Bernie Sanders did something, but now they need to go even further in their liberal point of view of raising taxes or doing whatever the fuck they want to do with social programs to help people out, which I don't agree with social programs to begin with, but that's what they're trying to do. But they can't get it past a Republican House, right? They have to do somewhat of a bipartisan bill, which they did. So all I'm saying is, you guys say Bernie Sanders should do something. They did. They passed the Inflation Reduction Act during this term.
But what they're doing here's the problem with where we're having a difference. One, there is a difference And there is a difference between somebody who is on the outside trying to get in, promising you something, versus somebody who is already there promising you something. It's the same thing as if you were working for somebody, right? You're working for a boss.
No, I get it, Kevin, but they
hold
did.
on, let me give you this analogy. You're working for a boss, and somebody else comes and says, "Hey, Juan, I'm trying to open up a store just like this, and I want you to come work there. I'd like you to come work for me, help me get this store open, right? And I'm going to pay you $15 an hour if you come work for me, right? If I can get this place open, you'll work it." Your boss comes and says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 Juan, whoa, if you stay here, if you stay here, I'll give you $15 an hour." Right? Okay, so now they're both making promises, right? But who is the problem is one is making a promise for, like, if you can give them the ability, they might try and do something. Versus the one who has the ability to do it now is also making the same promise but didn't. So Bernie Sanders, like I said, stood up there and said for 12 years, out of his mouth, Bernie Sanders said, "We've had 12 years of government. In 12 years, even back with Obama, they didn't have the ability to do
But
certain
that's
things."
what I'm saying. Though you're wrong, though, because you guys are saying that they're in power, so they should have done something. They did. They actually did. It's called the Inflation Reduction Act. Whether you
That's
agree
what.
with it or not,
Okay, I'll give you the
I'm
Inflation
not
Reduction
saying
Act. Everything else they're
I'm not
promising. We're talking about,
I'm not even
now.
yeah, I'm not
They're
even saying
promising
I'm not
for
talking
now.
about what already happened. I'm talking about they're obviously implying Bernie's obviously implying that they have a plan.
they
A
can't
plan
get the
now.
plan through, though.
Hold on. Hold
ahead.
on, dude.
Go
They're
ahead,
implying they have a plan now. They're not saying, "Hey, we already did something. Vote for us. We already did it." No,
Mhm.
he's saying we have a plan now, basically implying a new plan, something different, right?
Correct.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so here's my counter to that. One, they have talked about the Inflation Reduction Act, about something they have done. So they do mention that during their
No, I get that.
stops.
That's
Hold on,
not.
hold on.
I don't.
Okay,
Pretend
I
that
get it.
doesn't even exist
No,
in
no,
this
no.
argument.
Hold on. You said they didn't talk about that. I'm telling you they do.
I didn't
So
say that.
Yes, you did. I'll play your recording back for you later.
What do you want to bet that I did not say that?
$5.
They're not saying, "Hey, we already did something. Vote for us. We already did it." No.
Mm-hmm. All right. So here's the other thing. Not only are they saying they did that, okay, but here's what the problem. Again, please don't take this as I agree with Democrats passing bullshit plans. All I'm saying is the Democrats did pass that act, right?
Yeah,
now,
we all
they
agree.
want to go, hold on, they want to go further. We all know that they can't go any further with this plan if they don't control both chambers. They just can't. They have to control both the Senate.
Why wouldn't they be able to
Why?
do that? Why?
You think that
what's in this plan that you think it wouldn't pass the Republican
probably
House?
Increased taxes, increases to like the Kamala's thing about
That's a lot of
housing.
assumptions you're making, though. You don't know what's in it. You don't know what the plan is.
Of course I don't. No, they don't even know what the plan is.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
But
if you obviously you either don't have a plan at all, or you have no confidence in your plan because you're not even bringing it forward.
And here's the thing: if you, why did you put forward a plan that didn't work in the first place? Then, like you said, there's also a difference between doing something for show, right?
Well, no, I don't agree with that, Kevin, because you got to try. Sometimes you got to try shit to see if it works. So I got to disagree with Kevin there because.
Well, no, I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying Juan's point is that they want to go further, and the Republicans won't let them, right? But it's like you have a plan, but they like to brag about their inflation reduction plan, but was it even effective?
But no, I'm not saying it was effective. That's why I keep caveating. I didn't say it was effective. I didn't say I liked it. I didn't say I'm going to like any new plan they come up with, because I probably won't, because it's probably going to include increase in taxes and increase to social services that I don't agree with. All I'm saying is that they did bring up a plan. That plan had a lot of left-leaning shit that they had to negotiate in order to get it past the House, which was controlled by Republicans. So it was a bipartisan bill that was passed. All I'm saying is that Bernie Sanders and the Democrats did bring something forward that they had to negotiate and passed, And their new plan is probably the old shit that they couldn't get past that they had to negotiate out. Again, it is an assumption. I'm not going to say I know what the fuck is in the plan, but they know it can't pass. So they're telling people, look, put us in there, give us a House, give us a Senate, and we will pass the rest of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's good or bad, or I don't know what's in it. I'm just saying when you say, why aren't they doing it? They did do it, and they want to do it, but they know they can't right now because Republicans control the House. There's no way they're going to get 60 senators either. That's like what Nikki Haley is saying.
Me.
That's like what Nikki's saying about abortion, though. Like, why don't Republicans bring up abortion as a national ban? Because they know it doesn't have the 60 votes and it's unpopular. That's what Nikki Haley's saying. Why do we even promise this to people if we know we don't have the 60 Senate votes?
Well, the other thing, though, is that they don't want. Here's the thing. I don't believe the Republicans want a national abortion ban. They'd rather leave it to states' rights.
I've never heard as a party them saying we want
to ban it nationally. They just want to get rid of Roe v. Wade, which allows the states, right? Because again, national means everybody's got to follow under whatever one person wants. Versus
there is actual clip of JD Vance saying that one of the reasons he doesn't like leaving up to states is because people can get bused or plane to other states to get an abortion.
Well, I'm not saying JD Vance doesn't want it. I'm saying as a party platform.
As a party, no, they can't. They can't. It's a very unpopular thing. They can't do it.
Yeah, but it's never even been mentioned as a party that I know of.
No, it was mentioned during the debates. During the debates it was mentioned. That's why Nikki kept on countering and telling him, stop saying that. We can't pass it. I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Mike Pence or somebody.
Well, I'm saying if one person says it, it's not a party platform.
No, I'm just saying that you said you've never heard somebody publicly saying it.
I didn't say people publicly. No, I said the party. I keep saying the party as a platform is what I keep saying.
The party as itself, no, they won't.
And what happened is the guy who said it didn't get nominated, right? The only reason he's where he's at is because he got selected, not elected to that. You see. So the party itself can handle that sort of situation. I don't think anybody wants it. It's just like they could put something and make some sort of like cementization of like firearms where, into the the Constitution or the Bill of Rights, where they make an amendment and say the Second Amendment says everybody can own everything, every gun, all the time, anywhere, right? The only problem is I don't think they would do that either because it doesn't benefit anybody. Like the thing is not to allow people to own guns, but they do want to leave some leeway for them to be an authoritarian government and have a monopoly on force. So they do leave some leeway where people can't walk around with like mini, Gatling guns.
We've talked about that before. Predator. Where why can I not have a tank?
The F-16s, like we all can't own those. Again, this is why I think the platform, because I think Republicans as a whole are almost fracturing into two different parties. That's the other thing with the DNC. I feel like they still, like last night, I feel like no matter what, either that or it's just a portrayal by the media. Because
it's a media portrayal, dude. Y'all, I get tired of saying this. Y'all need to get on TikTok and stop liking videos.
I am on TikTok.
You just get on TikTok.
I did exactly what you told me to.
All the questions you asked yesterday about, hey, whatever happened with, I saw the funeral procession. I've seen all this, everything you asked about, I've seen on TikTok.
No, but what I'm saying though, okay, I don't mean that I don't see it as in it didn't happen. What I meant by those questions.
No, I know what you meant is hey, how come nobody's covering this? It's the fucking media,
it's
man.
It's not how come nobody's covering it. It's how come nobody's talking about it anymore? Like, because even Trump and Vance and Republicans, they're mentioning it every once in a while, but they're not like covering it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I'm suspicious that it didn't happen. It happened. We were all there. We all saw it. It happened. He got shot. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's weird how mainstream media and politicians just kind of move from cycle to cycle so quickly now. Like, that's all I was saying. So, like, I know that the
in fairness, we have one real right-wing focused media platform. one sort. I mean, you have Fox News, right?
Kinda.
And then you either have a combination of left-wing media, left-leaning media, or money chasing media, right? Like media that like World Star, like they're out for the clicks, right? The clickbait media. So you're not gonna. They're all gonna be focused on the things that are going to get them the most views. And like Beto says, you do have your TikTok and maybe to an extent your X Twitter now.
Yeah, I gotta keep my Chinese overlords happy, man.
But here's the problem. Things like TikTok and Twitter don't feel like media to most people because you have to go through and get fed things on a feed, right? Based on an algorithm. Who controls the algorithm? You just mentioned their name, right? So maybe they have a vested interest in making sure that we can see these things. But the other thing is, I don't know what I can necessarily always believe on Twitter or Twitter or TikTok. I'm just
first off, Juan sees different shit. Second off,
yeah,
if there was any bias on TikTok, where do you think that bias would lean?
I think it would lean.
Who would the Chinese Communist Party prefer to be in power?
The right?
I doubt it.
No, competition breeds money, man. This is the thing you got to realize with countries. Competition makes money. Competition when countries are like the Cold War, how beneficial was that really for us and the Russians? Honestly, money-wise, how do you think? I mean, we were the superheroes.
Who throws a shoe? Honestly,
I don't know, man. During that time, I was busy watching like fucking the Smurfs.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
No. I mean, that did benefit us. The Cold War benefited us.
You can't
deny that.
I'm not denying. I'm saying I don't fucking know.
Russia went bankrupt and the Soviet Union collapsed. So why do you think we're fighting the proxy war with
Yeah,
Ukraine right now? Because we're doing the same shit we did during the Cold War.
No, you're talking about like open economics. The oligarchs always still had money, and the government, their communist government, cemented power on a level that had never been seen, and is still today. And even then, when Russia talks about things like they talk about democracy and freedom and things like that for Russians or whatever, they still have their whole mindset has been this like communistic like government, and it allowed China to perfect communism, right? Because think about it, the Socialist Republic of China's our the biggest communist country in the world, right? They're also now arguably the big economic power of the world, and arguably the biggest militaristic. Look at what they've done. They've basically become the new America, right? Because they were competing with us all along. When Russia stopped being competitive, like in the late 90s, China started. And look what it does. The thing is, it forces people to be better, even when you have an enemy, because you're preparing against the idea of your enemy, right? Like you're preparing. So it drives innovation. Got to be better. The difference is that now we've kind of gone soft. And hell, a large portion of our country wants to be communist now, right? All these kids out there in the street, like Beto's talking about on TikTok, you think they're not down with the socialism or communism? Bernie Sanders is speaking right to those people. They're all for it. Just to, with a little twist on it, a little twist. They want to give you the.
I think a lot of people in the U.S. are kind of almost for that right now on either side.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting to the point, and that's why we're so divided. It's getting to the point where they're okay with fascism, authoritarianism, communism, whatever it is, as long as it's their party controlling what happens.
Exactly. I agree.
The thing is, I don't know. I mean, enlighten me. Maybe I do have a massive. Well, I do have a massive bias because I just fucking hate the left. But I do. I admit it. But what? Just give me a couple examples. Let's say 2 of stuff the right has said that would lead you to believe that they want to be fascists as a party, or even just Trump as his running platform.